I'm talking about racism on the internet.
Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
Before I begin, I would like to thank you fine few patrons who supported the show over at patreon.com/SofaJusticeWarriors for helping me reach my first milestone. $40! That's exactly enough money, plus 1 penny, for a comically huge bottle of whiskey, whose brand I will not mention unless they feel like paying me, which is exactly what I need to consume to convince myself that I have any place in the world to talk about tonight's movie.
You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend. I just don't want you to be shocked that he's a black man.
We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go. Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
I'm back in the beat.
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here.
Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Today's episode of Sofa Justice Warriors is entitled, We Get Everything, and Don't Point It Out. It's rude. Get Out is the story of a young black man who's more than a little nervous about meeting his white girlfriend's family. As the two clumsily negotiate their way through this cultural pitfall...
What?
Do they know I'm black?
A sinister story unfolds. And if you don't want to know any more than that, or haven't seen this film yet, this is your chance to jump off the train, because from here on out, spoilers abound. Comedy superstar Jordan Peele wrote and directed himself a real masterpiece here.
He said I was the first black guy he ever dated.
Yeah, so what?
Yeah, so it's his uncharted territory for him. I don't want to get chased off the lawn with a shotgun.
Seamlessly blending elements of horror, mystery,
One of a kind, top of the line, a real doggone keeper.
Right.
comedy,
Look, Jeffrey Dahmer was eating the shit out of niggas' heads, okay? But that was after he fucked the heads. Do you think they saw that shit coming? Hell no.
and this show's favorite thing, cultural commentary.
Well, you know what I say? I say one down, a couple 100,000 to go.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean to get on my high horse, but I'm telling you, I do not like the deer. I'm sick of it. They're taking over. They're like rats. They're destroying the ecosystem. I see a dead deer on the side of the road. I think to myself, that's a start.
Contrary to popular opinion, Hollywood loves to talk about racism. Unfortunately, Hollywood only loves to talk about what I'm gonna call comfort racism.
Damn. I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
The obviously bad, easily pointed out, long time ago, and certainly not in any way our fault, racism. The racism of the past that we've oh so totally solved, and oh, also, there was a nice white person in charge of solving it.
There we have it.
It was extremely cool to see a story tackle this topic in a way that doesn't pat the baby boomers on the back for doing away with that whole racism thing and solving it forever. And it was even cooler to see that story come from the pen and the director's chair of a black creator. There was a very gross genre of movie in the 80s and 90s whose premise could very easily be described as affluent white people in black neighborhoods. Oh no, run! I'm looking at you, Adventures in Babysitting and Judgment Night. Get Out begins with the reverse.
I feel like a sore thumb out here. All right, baby. All right, I'll talk to you soon. See you.
A black man afraid to be in a white suburb. He's pursued by a vehicle, and immediately this film establishes that doing the exact thing that the audience thinks you should do
Fuck this. I was about to go the other way. I can't.
isn't gonna make you safe.
Bro, this... Yo! Hey!
Next, we introduce Chris Washington and his girlfriend, Rose Armitage. It should be noted that the first time we see Rose, she is shopping for things. Remember this. As mentioned, Chris is nervous about meeting his white girlfriend's parents.
You know, I don't want to get chased off the lawn with a shotgun.
They get in their car and head to white suburbia. And this happens. Chris is compelled to check on the deer. Remember this too. And then, strap in, white cop.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah. My parents are from the Lake Ponaco area.
Black boyfriend.
Sir, can I see your license, please?
Wait, why?
Yeah, I have state ID.
No. He wasn't driving.
Already, this film is talking about racism in a way movies and, screw it, I'm saying it, white people just usually don't. It isn't comfortable as a portrayal. It isn't comfort racism. It's current. It exists now. And it exists in a way that, stay with me here, huge swaths of white people never want to talk about. And wait, please don't leave. Let's stop for a moment. For a potential portion of our audience, are you feeling defensive because I mentioned white people? Are you feeling like you're being challenged as a person? Are you feeling judged? Are you expecting me or this movie to attack you? Hang out. I promise you that this episode and this show in general are not about how people or men or straight people or the able-bodied or any group that's regularly accused of holding others down are terrible. That's not coming. But if you are feeling that, take a step back, take a breath, ask yourself, why am I feeling this? We'll come back to this too. So a white cop asked a victim for his identification, and it was a little uncomfortable. So uncomfortable, mind you, that even the man himself just wanted it to be over with.
Yeah, why? That doesn't make any sense.
Here.
No. Fuck that. You don't have to give him your ID because you haven't done anything wrong.
Baby, it's okay. Come on.
As quickly as possible. It's not his job to be constantly advocating for himself. He just wants to go on with his life.
Everything all right, Ryan?
Chris Washington, the character, is a passive guy. Next, we meet the White family.
So how long has this been going on, this thing?
But it's in this moment, as Rose's father gives Chris a tour of their house.
It's pretty eclectic. I'm a traveler, and I can't help it. I keep bringing souvenirs back.
Wherein it's revealed that the family's former patriarch took third place in a race against black track and field star Jesse Owens.
My dad's claim to fame was beat by Jesse Owens in the qualifying round for the Berlin Olympics in 1936. Those are the ones where...
Well, Owens won in front of Hitler.
Yeah, what a moment. I mean, Hitler's up there with all his perfect Aryan race bullshit. This black dude comes along, proves him wrong in front of the entire world. Amazing.
That here, the film, starts to make its thesis statement.
Pick these up in Bali.
Both this film's plot and this film's themes are right here, and every single thing in this movie is foreshadowed ahead of time and done in such a way that everything hides in plain sight. And it takes on one meaning on your first viewing and a second meaning on your second.
Tough break for your dad, though.
Yeah. He almost got over it.
And every other filmmaker, myself included, should shut up for 5 metaphorical minutes because Jordan fucking Peele is talking.
Such a privilege to be able to experience another person's culture. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. So Washington smokes. And Rose's parents, a neurosurgeon and a psychiatrist, respectively, disapprove.
Jones a little bit over there? Huh?
I'm quitting.
Dad, this is why I don't bring people to the house anymore.
That's okay, we're not judging.
It's a nasty habit, though.
They offer to cure him of his smoking habit via hypnosis. He says no.
I'm good, actually.
And as Chris nervously steps out for a late night cigarette, well...
Come in and sit with me, please.
And then...
You just dangle a pocket watch in front of people's faces, is that it?
You watch a lot of TV.
When I was a kid.
And then...
What about your mother?
What about her?
The man said no. It happened anyway.
You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
Before we even know what's really going on as an audience, we're seeing black characters acting strangely. And then there's also a theme of entitlement building.
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
The next day, there's a party and a montage so uncomfortable, I literally had to leave the theater for a minute the first time I saw this movie.
Yeah, just smile one more time. Yeah, there you go. There it is.
Fairer skin has been in favor for the past, couple of hundreds of years. But now the pendulum is swung back. Black is in fashion.
Okay.
Oh.
Not bad. Is it better?
Wow.
And this wasn't just uncomfortable for me because I'm in Chris's shoes at this point. You know, yeah, he's our protagonist in this movie. He's our guy. But it was also uncomfortable because I grew up in a world of white people. And I can and have and will have said things as dumb as this.
I do know Tiger.
Growth is a process. I didn't start out, nor am I now, nor will I end perfect. And here's where I'd like to talk about that question from before. Why would anybody, if not you, feel defensive about this movie? Or me saying that white people don't want to talk about racism? And I can't speak for you, those who did feel defensive, nor can I speak for white people as a whole, but I can speak for me. I can speak for myself. Of that, I'm the sole expert and legitimate authority. I'm in here with me. In my experience, there's a tendency among white folks to view racism as something that you are rather than something that you do. In my past, I talked about it like some disease other people had. I knew that racists were bad people, and I wasn't a bad person, therefore I wasn't racist. And for years, that's as much behavior math as I cared to do. I was tired of being made to feel guilty about things that my ancestors did, as if the moment slavery ended, Or the civil rights movement changed some laws we could fist bump and be like, we cool? Come on, man. But racism isn't a battle we won with the Emancipation Proclamation, nor was it a battle we won with noted one of the good ones, Martin Luther King's help 50 years ago. You can't pass a few laws and call it a day. I learned behaviors in this society that I will spend a lifetime deprogramming, and I will never ever be done. The right thing for me to do for the rest of my life when somebody tells me I'm racist is not to say, no, I'm not. It's to say, oh shit, I'm sorry, how? And furthermore, if that person doesn't feel like explaining it to me, I don't get to be mad about that either. Back to the movie.
Pardon me, I'm gonna take some pictures.
Sure thing.
Chris is a photographer. He tries to ride out the party, being invisible, by taking pictures. Like I said, passive guy. But he talks to a black man, and as he takes his picture with a flash, this happens.
The chores have become my sanctuary. Get out.
Sorry, man.
Okay. Get out!
Yo!
Yeah!
Yo, chill, man.
Get out! Chill! Get out! Chill, man! Chill! Get the fuck out of here!
Okay, something's definitely going on. These people are hypnotized or something, and camera flashes wake them up momentarily, and viewers, more astute than myself, will have noticed this guy is the guy from the start of the flick. Chris tries to call his friend, who is, in this movie, the comic relief character. He works for the TSA.
Look, they could have made you do all types of stupid shit. They have you fucking barking like a dog, flying around like you're a fucking pigeon, looking ridiculous, okay? Or, I don't know if you know this, white people love making people sex slaves and shit.
This character says everything the audience is thinking.
Yo, and it's the black people out here too. It's like all of them miss the movement.
Because they probably hypnotized. Look, bruh, all I'm doing is connecting the dots. I'm taking what you presented to me, okay? I'm gonna tell you this. I think that mom is putting everybody in a trance and she fucking the shit out of them.
Thanks, Rod. Bye.
That night it comes out that as a kid, Chris's mother died in a car wreck. Also, he sat watching television as it happened, doing nothing.
1 hour went by, then 2, then 3. And I just sat there. There was time if somebody was looking for her. There was time. Nobody was looking.
Furthermore, if he had gotten up and told somebody, he might have saved his mother's life.
I was just watching TV.
And in this moment, as he sat doing nothing, he clawed at the arms of his chair. We put together now as an audience that this previously is the angle at which Rose's mother came at his hypnotism.
What about your mother?
His guilt about his mother's death, and using this, she sends him into himself.
Wait.
Sink.
Elsewhere, back in the present, as he tells Rose, who's been cool as hell up until this point,
what is his problem? He's never treated any of my boyfriends that way. Ever.
but still a little off?
What?
About all this, there's an auction taking place.
You're all I've got. I'm not gonna leave here without you. I'm not gonna abandon you, okay?
You're not. Let's go home. This sucks.
Things are too weird. Title line, get the fuck out. And as he's packing to leave, Chris finds a box. Turns out, despite this having been said earlier in the movie,
He said I was the first black guy he ever dated.
Rose has been with several black people. And here's the turn. We don't know exactly what's up, but we know enough. Things are amiss. Rose is in on it. Run. Get out.
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
And ultimately, the reveal of the movie takes on a very sinister being John Malkovich bent.
I'm Roman Armitage, and if you're watching this, you're probably wondering what's going on. Well, there's no need to worry. Let's take a walk.
This white family and their extended group of friends has been collecting black people for quite some time now to literally steal their bodies.
The coagula procedure is a man-made miracle. Maybe one day you'll enjoy being members of the family.
Gross. Washington is a photographer with keen eyes and a blind, kinda sinister, but seemingly sympathetic Stephen Root.
Ignorance. Oh, all of them. They mean well, but they have no idea what real people go through. I am an admirer of your work. You have a great eye.
Wait. Jim Hudson? Hudson Galleries?
Believe me, the irony of being a blind art dealer isn't lost on me. Phase one was the hypnotism. That's how they sedate you. Phase two is this.
Wants his eyes.
So you won't be gone. Not completely. A sliver of you will still be in there somewhere. Limited consciousness. You'll be able to see and hear what your body is doing, but your existence will be as a passenger. An audience. You'll live in
the sunken place.
Now you're in the sunken place.
I'll control the motor function, so I'll be
me. White black people.
Who knows? People want to change. Some people want to be stronger, faster, cooler.
Black is in fashion.
But please don't lump me in with that. You know, I could give a shit what color you are. No. What I want is deeper. I want your eye, man.
And here, as before, we see Rose shopping for things, and those things are black men. Peele pays off both Chris's passiveness as well as his tendency to claw at his chair while being so. There's something being said here about black men picking cotton, but it went way the fuck over my head. But what I did get is that Chris Washington sat on his ass watching TV and let his mom die, and it was his single biggest regret. And so, his hypnotic state was presented the same way. And this time, he wasn't gonna sit around being passive. Utilizing the side effect of his trauma, he breaks his way out of his chair and becomes, this time, an active participant in fighting against his helplessness. No longer content to watch TV or take pictures, this time, he's a player in the game. Oh, and the deer he couldn't help but go see at the start of the film that we've since learned represents his mother? Yeah, he stabs Bradley Whitford in the fucking chest with his trauma. Also, male black slaves used to be called bucks. Just saying. After a bit of a standoff, Chris destroys the teacup used to hypnotize him. And the knife that stabs him in turn? Now that he's an expert in using his emotional damage to fight back, he uses this physical damage done to him to do the same. You fuck with Chris Washington and he will use the very way he's fucked up to fight back. I love this character and I fucking love this character arc. This is a story not just about overcoming emotional trauma, but of using that same trauma against itself to carry you forward. So Chris leaves his now totally unambiguously evil girlfriend who definitely recruits black people to become hosts for her white family, and then this happens. And yeah, we know now that this black woman is actually his girlfriend's white grandma, but he just can't. He just can't.
Oh, no, don't do it, don't do it. Don't do it, just fucking go.
He tries, but he just can't leave. And he takes her in the car. This film has earned a moment of a character trying to do right, even if it'll probably go wrong. And it has also earned this character being wrong. And here, the predictable.
You ruined my house!
And then this. And then this.
Get him, Grandpa.
Damn you!
Let me do it.
And then this.
Help. 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 Help me.
I saw this movie twice before I started this essay, and both times people cheered this moment. I hear there's an alternate cut where the cop who showed up was the white officer from the beginning of the movie, and I'm honestly not sure which ending is more powerful. But, Mr. Peele, I feel like you rightly kinda got to have your cake and eat it too. We all went there. We all thought it was coming. We all got the point. So what is this movie about? What words can I say that will send people running for the hills? Cultural appropriation. On its surface, this is a movie about the uncomfortable realities black people still deal with on a day-to-day basis, but once it unravels, this is a movie about how entitled a lot of white people feel, not just to black bodies, but black culture, black experience. A lot of us want everything to be ours. And if you want to argue, that's not me. That's great. That's actually a very good starting point, but it's also a terrible ending point. So I hope you can take a lesson from my mistakes, my past. Don't stop there. Keep trying. Keep listening. Don't make every criticism an indictment of you. Learn. Don't be satisfied that you're done, and don't be annoyed by the fact that people don't believe that you are done. And if you watched all this and you thought, well, that's all fine, but it wasn't about me, you're either not white, in which case, I hope I got this right, or you're not listening or you missed the point. Either way, let's keep trying together. I believe in us. no matter what we look like. And I think, given enough time and thoughtful discussion, no matter how wrong-headed sometimes, that we can make it through this. For Silver Justice Warriors, I'm Joe. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Special thanks to Daniel Stockman and Kelly Carter.